Doom Eternal came out in 2020 and was developed by ID Software. It's the sequel to the Doom 2016 reboot. Doom had its debut in 1993 and was revolutionary for its first-person shooter style. This same style would inspire lots of big franchises that are popular today. There are 7 mainline games in the Doom franchise, some of which, in order, are Doom 1993, Doom 2 Hell on Earth, Final Doom, which you can tell was not the final Doom, then Doom 64, Doom 3, and then the 2 games released currently. You may be asking why I made this video, but I'm sure most people have already played Doom Eternal. It's a very popular game. I've beaten the game at least 3 times, and upon my first playthrough, I considered it an okay game and immediately dropped it. What if I told you that beating the game was only the beginning of a nightmare? In Doom Eternal, there are 4 difficulties: I'm Too Young to Die, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultraviolence, and Nightmare. My first playthrough of the game, I only beat it on Hurt Me Plenty and rushed through the game. But to truly experience the game, in my opinion, it should be played on Nightmare difficulty. Over the course of the game, it teaches you the intricacies of its combat system that can only be fully fleshed out in the Nightmare difficulty. In Nightmare, you die in around 4 hits, and there are constantly 20 demons all shooting at you at once, making this extremely difficult. Playing Nightmare forces you to adapt and learn each of these techniques and to fully understand the combat system. There are multiple ways to regain health in this game. Some of the ways are glory kills, blood punching enemies, freezing demons and killing them, demons will give you a small amount of health in general. Armor can be gained by using your flame belt or your shotgun grapple hook. And killing the enemies, which gives you like a small amount of health, kind of. Armor's basically just like another form of health. Ammo can be gained by killing enemies with the chainsaw, or headshotting maker drones, which are in certain levels. Now, you need to be constantly aware of how much health, armor, and ammo you have at all times. This makes the game a high-octane, intense scenario where you make split-second decisions. Now, after you beat the game on Nightmare, you may think that you have mastered the game, but in all actuality, you are just getting started. Now, try and do all the things I just stated without dying, in the game's 5th difficulty, Ultra Nightmare. Ultra Nightmare is the same as Nightmare, but with only one major difference. If you lose, you have to restart from the very beginning. The game takes, on average, 16 hours to beat in a single playthrough, making this a very daunting task. This may seem impossible, but there's a strategy to this. And one way you can go about beating it is to play through every level in the game multiple times in a different save state before you play it on Ultra Nightmare. It allows you to save and exit in between levels. If you can beat the game on Ultra Nightmare, you're rewarded with the Golden Doomslayer skin. But this is just a test of stamina. The real test of skills is in the Doom Mask levels. The devs made remixed versions of certain levels in the game and called them Mask levels. Doom Mask levels are similar to the levels that little kids make in Mario Maker, where they just place 20 of the hardest enemies in the game in every single room you walk into. Their master levels, in my opinion, are the most fun part of the game. They're insanely difficult, forcing you to make extremely fast decisions. You have to develop techniques to kill every enemy in the game as fast as possible. Enemies that were hard to deal with just 1 or 2 of them in the regular campaign are now spawned in groups of 8 in a tiny room with nowhere to run. Only when beating these levels in Ultra Nightmare can you truly say you have mastered the game. This is a challenge for even those experienced Doom players. There are 3 mask levels currently in the game: Super Gorness, Arc Complex, and Taurus Nabat. Super Gorness is one of the longest levels in the game, and it has you inside of the largest demon nest on Earth. If you can beat the mask level on every difficulty, you are rewarded with the Golden Shotgun. I have put hours in this level and I'm yet to beat it on Ultra Nightmare, although I have come close. I've beaten the level only dying 3 times in the extra life mode, but I still need to beat it without dying, and I'm working on it. I have not played much of the Arc Complex Master level, and I've played a small amount of the Taurus and the Mod one, which I would consider harder than Super Gorness because of the frequent use of tight spaces for the fights. If you can complete Taurus and the Mod on every difficulty, you get a turquoise assault rifle, which I would say is not as cool as the golden one. Doom Eternal also has a multiplayer mode called the Battle Mode, where it lets you play as a Slayer while 2 other players can play as demons, and there's like 8 different ones they can choose from. This mode could use a lot of work. The game needs more variety in its online modes. After playing like once or twice, it kind of gets boring because there's not much to do in it. I think a co-op version of the game would be super cool to add to it, where basically you and another player like beat levels. And there's certain demons maybe they could add that like you both have to do something to kill, but that's just an idea. But with all this in mind, I think that is why you should play Doom Eternal.